I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life.
Unfortunately, we can't listen to all of that song. And I think we are on vacation right now. So, hey, welcome. Hello and welcome to Under the Hardhat. This is a podcast for safety for the construction industry. My name is Brian Mesmer at Mesmer Safety on all the social medias. And today is Monday, December 27th. And I am actually on vacation. And joining me again is my friend, Kristin Heizman. She's the Vice President of Safety for all API Group companies. And this is the second episode of the 2-episode series discussing building momentum, leadership, influence, and safety. And the last time we talked about the EMR model, which is not the experience modification rate that we're all used to in safety. Kristin, can you do a pretty brief recap of what EMR is and then what are we talking about today?
Sure, Brian, I definitely can. EMR model is a behavior model. So it actually stands for express, model, and reinforce. What that means, again, is expressing what you say publicly and privately, modeling through actions and decisions to support that, and reinforcing, applying rewards and consequences for the behaviors that are observed.
Okay. So today we're talking about, I think you said we were going to review some examples because you've been reviewing this with leaders throughout the organization.
I have. So I started with a small group of company presidents that wanted to be involved in it, came up with a tentative list of examples and started having one-on-ones with each company to discuss them and wound up with a pretty good list that is still evolving.
Like an evergreen tree, keeps growing.
It is like a yeah, except for the Christmas trees are all dying right now.
Christmas tree? You mean holiday trees?
Sorry, holiday trees.
Winter
holiday.
There it is. We found it.
Evergreens.
So what are some examples of what are things that we can do? What are questions that we can ask? How can we build momentum and leadership, influence, and safety?
Well, leaders can express the safety culture that we want. So again, the commitment to zero, the safety is our number one core value. By telling personal stories, everyone has a safety story. It doesn't have to be like mine, for example, my grandfather was almost killed in a horrible accident, kind of a inspiring story. It could just be, I care about safety because I care about my people and I want them to all be able to celebrate the new year. It could be that, but making it personal, showing a little bit of vulnerability and just talking to your people about why you personally care about safety is important. You could also verbally and personally thank people for working safely. When you go around job sites, the office, actually shaking people's hand, COVID fist pump, telling them, I appreciate you working safely.
Specifically saying that.
Yes, specifically saying that.
Very good.
You could start all meetings with our number one value, the safety, health, and well-being of our leaders. Actually, Russ Becker does that, which is pretty cool.
I think he also starts most of his emails like that too.
Yeah, he does. He's very good at it. I actually stole that one from him.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
How else can we express our influence?
By talking about stop work responsibility, not just the examples of it, but just talking about it constantly.
And just a preview, there's going to be a lot of toolbox talks coming in 2022, and one of them in the early parts is going to be stop work responsibility. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Going out to a job site, making sure every single person on that job site understands that they do have the responsibility to stop a job if they see something or a task.
Very good.
Last but not least, for expressing, brag about your safety culture. Be proud of your people and the work that they're doing. Brag to your customers, brag to the general contractors, brag to coworkers, brag to your family. because it's important.
I agree. How could I model leadership influence in safety?
Well, visiting job sites is a pretty easy one, but some of the presidents and leaders go above and beyond, and they visit a job site, and their first question when they go on a job site is a safety question. And I like that. Or they'll go out with an actual safety professional. They can lead by example by personally following safety rules. In the earlier half of this podcast, or the first one, you talked about driving safely.
Mhm.
If our leaders are not following our rules about driving, they're setting a bad example.
They're not modeling the behavior.
They are not modeling the behavior that we want.
Very good.
Be active and present in safety training. Don't just introduce it. Say safety is important and then peel out.
But also don't sit in the back on your computer answering emails at the time, right?
Yeah, be actively involved.
Involved and present, focused. Okay, I like that one.
Yep. Leading toolbox talks. Toolbox talks are not everyone's favorite thing to lead. Give the foreman a break. You can have people help you.
You can listen to this podcast.
You could listen to this podcast and then lead a conversation around it. And last but not least, for this one, perform safety observations. Whatever that looks like for your company.
I like that. What about reinforcement? You said reinforcement was the most important piece of this.
It is the most important piece. And the hard part about this one is that they are not easy. And that's why they mean so much, because they aren't easy. Writing thank you notes for meaningful acts of safety takes some effort, but it means so much. Starting with safety first on the job visits. We did talk about this a little bit in the modeling one, but on the back of this card that I made that we will attach to this podcast, if you're interested, there is a list of questions. So this is not just, asking people if they're doing okay safety wise. This is actually getting into a conversation about safety and reinforcing through that conversation any follow-up items that come from it and the culture. Taking groups to lunch and having honest conversations about safety opportunities, challenges, and culture. Everyone likes lunch.
Yeah, every single field person I've ever met loves to go out for lunch.
Hey, I like lunch. I'm not in the field.
Being sensitive to the job, though, and the pressures that the foreman may be under, there could be some foremen and crews that may not be able to go to lunch that day, but you could also schedule that out in advance as well.
Yeah, it's really just getting them gathered. Food helps, though.
Mm-hmm.
And reinforcing that everyone is responsible for safety.
Everyone is responsibility for safety also.
Everyone has responsibility for safety and is responsible for safety. And this one is mostly a pet peeve that I'm pushing on the presidents. I don't like when all the safety follow-up items get assigned to just the safety professionals.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's not 100% fair that everything related to safety go to the safety person, especially if the president is the one who finds the issue. Maybe he can help with facilitating that project or that issue from start to finish.
Yeah, or she could help find someone else to assign it to.
Yeah.
But the main thing is we can't talk about safety as everyone's responsibility, but then only give safety related assignments or tasks to safety professionals.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I think I understand what you're saying there.
Okay. And the biggest one, this one is actually, I would love if everybody started doing this. Safety infraction or discipline comes from the company leader or the leader.
Branch leader, field leader.
Any leader. Again, it goes back to, safety is not just the safety professional's responsibility, so they should not be responsible for safety discipline.
Let's agree with that.
I actually know a president of a company outside of our organization that if someone has a bad driving record, they sit down with them. And the president of the company, this huge company, reviews their driving record in person, one-on-one with them.
Can you imagine sitting in front of Russ Becker and reviewing my driving record? No.
I think it would make a difference.
Well, I mean, my driving record is decent, but I have nothing to hide or show. So, well, that's cool.
Right.
That's good stuff. Well, we will put these safety conversation starters in the description piece of the podcast. Thank you, Kristin, for joining us. If you have any questions, listeners, if you guys and gals, you peoples, have any questions, you can reach out to your company safety representative. You can message me directly on any of the social medias or via email. And I will put you in touch with my boss, Kristin Heizman, the Vice President of Safety for all ATM Group companies. And don't forget to like, share, review, and subscribe to get the latest and greatest information regarding safety that we have. And then, as always, thank you for listening and be safe.
Bye.